Hi, this is Genevieve Stafford Jack, and this video will be centering around something still around the numbers, still around analyzing the deal. But this I really just want to zone in because it was one of the questions that I got like, so what is it? Explain a little bit more about the cash on cash. How will I be making the money? So in one of my previous videos, I had shared with you how to analyze a deal. And I got a lovely inbox message where like, just back up a little bit about that cash on cash. So I'm here today, still hijacked my husband's room, or should I say my husband's office, because we turned in one of the rooms into a home office. And I decided, well, my good old faithful flip chart is with me. So without much ado, we're really just going to get stuck into a very quick, short, and to the point video. I ended off, if you want to see the previous video, I will put it up somewhere so that you can go back and see where the question comes from. But the question really was zoned in on cash on cash. Jen, I've not heard about cash on cash. Just make us, explain stuff. So to first explain what is cash on cash, it really is the money that you have invested in your property, specifically your investment property, right? The money that you've invested in there. Are you making a positive cash flow? Or rather, should I say, are you making a good return on investment? So I want to take this quick example right now. My example is, what if where you are sitting right now, whether you are paying a bond or whether you have a tenant, what if you are collecting a monthly cash flow, right? Your monthly cash flow is sitting at, say for example, it's really sitting at something good. Say for example, it's sitting at 1,000, right? And if we say 1,000 times 12, we get our annual cash flow. What is our annual cash flow, right? Quickly do the maths. Yes, you got it right. And just for you, because you got it right, I want you just to gently touch the like button because you're so clever. All right. Say, for example, on a monthly basis, once we got our rental income coming through, all the expenses that is attached to that particular property, you have also paid up those expenses. And then you have got money left over, which is your monthly cash flow. On a monthly basis, it's 1,000. Over 12 months, it's 12,000. And we've got that there, right? So my question is, your 12,000 Rand divided by the amount of money that you invested in that property. Now, this is a tricky one. Where are the numbers going to come from? If you were part of the previous video, I want you to remember I asked you 3 questions at the end of that video. I asked you, did you pay a deposit? And say you paid a deposit, right? Say you paid a deposit of 50,000 Rand. That was question number 1. And then I asked you about renovation. Did you renovate? Say, for example, you did renovate and your renovation was 20,000 Rand because, well, it wasn't that much of a renovation, right? And then the third question that I asked, what were your closing costs? Now, here's a quick tip. When you go to Uber and you'll see the website coming up somewhere here. Cool. So now we've established how we're going to get our closing costs and what our closing costs are. So say, for example, in all of this, our closing costs as per the Uber calculator, let's round it off and say 50,000, was 50,000. Now we're sitting at 120,000 of the investment that we made. Now the question is, this 12,000, if I divide it by 120,000, I am going to get ultimately a 10% return on the money that I have put into this particular property for this property to work. Because remember, the bank is coming with the other money. This money came out of your pocket. This money was your deposit. And then we've established that you did do some renovation, and your renovation was this particular 20,000. And then we went to the Uber calculator to establish that closing costs for this particular 2-bed, 1-bath that you bought. This is your closing cost, which is the transfer fees and the bond fees. And then we've established this is the money that came out of your pocket so that you can financially close this particular property investing opportunity or potentially the house that you are staying in right now. So the whole thing is, will the cash that you put into the deal actually yield you the money that you're looking for? I want to ask right now for a piece of homework. Any of the banks that you know is currently giving you 10% interest on 120,000 Rand? If your answer is no, then this deal makes sense because your cash that you've put into the deal is making a 10% cash on an annual basis, which then means your 12,000 on an annual basis is a very happy place. So here's a pro tip just for Pansela. When you start seeing many companies saying you're going to get 10% on this or 15% on that whenever you invest with us, they are actually saying, are you willing to give me your 120,000 Rand for a full year for me to give you 10%, not on a monthly basis, but because we've said on a monthly basis, this is 1,000 Rand. But over a year, my annual cash flow is 12,000 Rand. So based on my annual cash flow, I get 10% return on the money that I invested in this property. And how did I invest this money in the property? I took out money from my pocket and I paid a deposit. I've taken out money from my pocket and I renovated the property. I've taken out money from my pocket and I've closed the financing costs, the closing costs, which is your transfer fees and your bond fees. So this is what I referred to at the end of the previous video, where I spoke about your cash on cash return. Many of us, we always ask, what will this give me if I put in X amount of money? And I want to ask you, on any investment basis, right? I want to find out from you, where are you right now? Do you have 120,000 in the bank that is earning 10% return on investment per annum? Because every time you hear a percentage, always go back and ask the question. Many people get it wrong. They assume it is on a monthly basis, whereas it is on an annual basis. So I trust that this answers the question on cash and cash. So I want to say thank you so much to my subscriber that did ask that question. His name is Tim. So Tim, today you've made this particular video possible. So I look forward to coming through to you a little later on in this week, straight from my husband's office, as I've hijacked his office until, well, we'll see when the cold, when the cold subsides and I go back outside. So if you have not, subscribe, and I look forward to serving you. And I just want to remind you, in August, I will be doing a 30-day challenge where I will be answering a question a day all around what rookie investors ask, those that are up and coming investors ask, so that they too can get ahead in their particular property investing opportunity. So take care, be safe, see you then.